उद्धार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे वह पार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे शरण परे शरण परे शरण परे शरण परे भव पार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे कैसे तेरा नाम दिया ये कैसे तुम्हारी लगन लगाए कैसे तेरा नाम दिया ये कैसे तुम्हारी लगन लगाए हृदय जगदो ज्ञान तुम्हारी शरण परे भव पार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे पंत मतों की सुन सुन बातें द्वार तेरा तक पहुँच न पाते पंत मतों की सुन सुन बातें द्वार तेरा तक पहुँच न पाते बात के बीच जहान तुम्हारी शरण परे भव पार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे तू ही श्यामल कृष्ण मुरारी राम तू ही गणपति त्रिपुरारी तू ही श्यामल कृष्ण मुरारी राम तू ही गणपति त्रिपुरारी तुम्ही बने हनुमान तुम्हारी शरण परे भव पार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे ऐसे अंतर ज्योति जगाना हम दीनों को शरण लगाना ऐसे अंतर ज्योति जगाना हम दीनों को शरण लगाना हे प्रभु दया निदान तुम्हारी शरण परे भव पार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे तुम्हारी शरण परे तुम्हारी शरण परे शरण में आए हैं हम तुम्हारे दया करो है
बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। तस्मै नमः परमकारणकारणाय दीप्तो ज्वलज्वलितपिङ्गललोचनाय नागेन्द्रहारकृतकुण्डलभूषणाय ब्रह्मेन्द्रविष्णुवरदाय नमः शिवाय। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री गुरुचरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार बरनो रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। In one voice together. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तीनों लोक उजागर। रामदूत तुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमत निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरण विराज सुवेशा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ भद्र और ध्वजा विराजे कान्हे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक झरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाई सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्ष उर लाए। रघुपति की नहीं बहुत बढ़ाए, तुम मम प्रिया भरत संभाई। सहस बदन तुम्हारो यश गावे, अस कही श्रीपति दंत लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद
सहित ऐसा।
यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कही सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाए राजपद दीना। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय
सब जग जाना।
युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेरी मुख माही, जल दिलाने गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न ज्ञान पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी शरणा,
तुम रक्षक का हो डरना।
आपन तेज सम्हारो, आपे तीनों लोक हाकते कापे।
भूत पिशाच
निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, तासु अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा, है परसिद्धि जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता,
असवर दीन जानकी माता।
राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को भावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख
बिसरावे।
अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भात कहाई। और देवता चेतन धरई, हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमीरे हनुमत बलवीरा। बोलो जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शत बार पात्र कर कोई, छूट ही बंधि महासुख होई। जो यह पर हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महादेरा। की जय नाथ हृदय महादेरा। की जय नाथ हृदय महादेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय में बसहूँ सुरभूप सिया। भज राम चंद्र की जय, शरणम प्रभु। बोले पवन सुत हनुमान की, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। अच्युतं केशवं राम नारायणम्, अच्युतं केशवं राम नारायणं। कृष्ण दामोदरं वासुदेवं हरि। कृष्ण दामोदरं वासुदेवं हरि। श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिका वल्लभं। श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिका वल्लभं। जानकी नायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे। जानकी नायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे। अच्युतं केशवं सत्यभामाधवं। माधवं श्रीधरं राधिकाराधितम्। इंदिरा मंदिरं अतिका सुंदरम्। इंदिरं माधवं चेतसा सुंदरं। देवकी नंदनं नंदनं संदधे। देवकी नंदनं नंदनं संदधे। विष्णवे जिष्णवे संकिते चक्रिणे। रुक्मिणे रागिणे जानकी जानये। वल्लभी वल्लभा याचिता यात्मने। वल्लभी वल्लभा याचिता यात्मने। कंसविध्वंसिने वंशिने ते नमः। कंसिने वंशिने वंशिने ते नमः। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण। अच्युतं केशवं राम नारायणम्। अच्युतं केशवं राम नारायणम्। कृष्ण
दामोदरं वासुदेवं हरि। कृष्ण दामोदरं वासुदेवं हरि।
ओ श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिका वल्लभं। श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिका वल्लभं। जानकी नायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे। जानकी नायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे। जानकीनायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। वंशी विभूषितकराननवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरादर्नबिम्बफलधरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखारविन्द्रनेत्र। कृष्णात् पदं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। बोले श्री कृष्ण भगवान की, विष्णु भगवान की जय। My humble pranam to all of you today, and welcome to Bhavani Shankar Mandir, where we are observing Katha in the name of Bhagwan Narayan, to continue educating ourselves on this one thing that is certain to happen in every one of our lives, and that is death. When death comes, we talked last night that it is a very confusing thing. We will never understand why we lose in life. We will only understand when we gain and what to do when we gain. But when losses come, it is very difficult to understand why we lose. And so we started discussing last night. This evening, before we proceed, I want to thank our sponsors. These devotees, I call them, they are giving thanks to Bhagwan on behalf of all their ancestors. On behalf of Bhaiji Krishna Mangru and family, this is their dedication. We would like to dedicate this Garud Puran Katha to all our ancestors, including Ramdat Mangru, Jagdat Mangru, Mangru Budram, and Lorraine Mangru. We would not exist and be who we all are today if it was not for all of the sacrifices they made for our family. We would also like to acknowledge the late Isaac Autar, who passed away earlier this year. May Bhagwan continue to shower his blessings upon them all. We love you all very dearly. That is their message. May Bhagwan Shri Krishna's blessings be with their ancestors and their family as well. To Bhaiji Omkar and his wife Darshani and their lovely children. Dedicated, this is from Omkar, dedicated to my mom, dad, brothers, Aja, Aji, Nana, Nani. And from Darshani, dedicated to her dad, Aja, Aji, Nana and Nani. May Bhagwan bless their Atma. They have always been associated with this Katha since the very inception to give thanks to their ancestors. Auntie Baby as well this evening. This is Babita's mother. On behalf of Auntie Baby and family, we would like to dedicate our sponsorship to all our ancestors, including our Ajis, Ajas, Nanas, Nanis, and the rest of the ancestors. We'd like to acknowledge the late Isaac Autar, Auntie Baby's husband, who left us early this year as well. Bhagwan's blessings to all of them. To our dear brother Deo Ramjivan from New York, on September 22nd, 2022, marks 1 year since my ma, Khemraji Ramjivan, left us. May Shri Krishna Bhagwan guide her loving soul to supreme bliss, and may she be in his abode at all times. She was very instrumental, of course, in raising them. The three principles of her mother was religion, education, and respect. They miss her a lot, and they pray for her well-being even after death. Thank you, Bhaiji. To Ram Kumari Balgobin, giving thanks today in memory of their ancestors. To my dear Pua, Mrs. Jagdir Rajkumar, dedicating this evening to her ancestors, to the Sharma family, and to the Rajkumar family, from Mrs. J. Rajkumar and family. God bless you, Auntie, for thinking of them always. And from Sita Partab as well, in honor of her parents, Ram Kisoon and Sukhdev Leela Maharaj, 5 sisters and 2 brothers who have left this earth. May Bhagwan bless all their Atma. So people are continuing to pour in their greetings and their love for their dear ones, and we thank you for doing that. This is a beautiful time for us to remember that those who have gone, they have left gems on this earth. You know, it is gods that create gods, and it is demons that create demons. We have to understand that every day on this life, let us try to be a little bit more godly. It is a bad thing sometimes to people, you know, when you start to go mandir and you start to be vegetarian, stop drink and stop smoke and everything, they tell you you're turned godly. Well, it is a good thing that you're turned godly and you're not becoming a demon. I think that we have to be strong with our dharmic principles, stand up for them, because if we do not have a path in life or a pathway in life that is divine, that is defined by principles, that is defined by good qualities, then what are we really? We will be equal to the creatures who are born on the road, live on the road, eat on the road, procreate on the road, and die on the road, if we do not have our dharma with us. Today it is admirable that people are still responding to Shraddh. Tomorrow morning will be a historical morning for the temple. First time we're doing this, of the Pindas and the Shraddh at the temple, to facilitate people connecting with their dear ones. Connecting with their dear ones. Last night, for those of you who were not here, we talked about Garudji came on this earth and he saw what was happening. He saw the death, he saw the rituals, and he asked Bhagwan Vishnu to explain to him everything. The Lord, of course, he's trying to explain to Garud. Garud is a vulture, he's a big bird. He's tremendously, educated because he's close to God. And the Lord is trying to explain to him about death. We spoke about the funeral last night. We talked a great deal about the funeral when you die. There are days to do funerals as well. We talked about Panchak. We talked about calling your Panditji and getting guidance from your Panditji and less guidance from the public. Because when someone dies, everyone becomes a teacher. And they bring their own principles, sometimes educated and uneducated principles. We must bow to them and let them know that we appreciate their concern, but we have someone to guide us. We talked about the funeral ceremony, what is done, some of the misconceptions about funerals. We talked about the Dashgatra ceremony. Last night we spoke about the difference between Trayodashi Shraddh and Dwadashi Shraddh, the difference between 12th day and 13th day ceremonies, what is done on the 12th day, what is done on the 13th day. Now the Atma has left the body. We talked about why we do the 10 Pindas, because we're building an astral body. And I compared it to something very modern. If you watch movies, we talked about that last night. To something very modern that the West has taken and are making movies now, where the Atma begins its journey. Where the Atma begins its journey. Now someone asked me last night, Panditji, what happens when someone dies, but you do not do Shraddh for them? What happens if someone died, but you do not do a proper funeral for them? Well, let us look at the purpose of doing the funeral. The purpose of doing Pindadan, the purpose of doing Tarpana, is to return the body back to its source and to allow the Atma to have to supply the Atma. So how do I answer this question? Here I answer the question. If the purpose of Shraddh is to facilitate a beautiful journey for the Atma, and you do not do the Shraddh, then that purpose is defeated. So imagine if you're going for a drive and you have to fuel up your vehicle or you have to charge it up, whatever the case is. Right? The purpose of putting fuel in the vehicle or charging it up, if you're driving an electric vehicle, is for you to drive, for you to get to a certain way. But if you don't put that fuel inside, what will happen? You'll be stuck where you are. You'll be stuck where you are. The Atma. Last night we spoke about Garudji. We spoke about Garud, that, Garud asked all these questions and Bhagwan Vishnu answered them. Now, we spoke about Dashrath. That when Raja Dashrath died, he chanted the name of Bhagwan Ram how many times, everybody? 6 times. Good, you were listening. Very nice. Ram Ram Kahu Ram Kahi, Ram Ram Kahu Ram. Tehi par Raghuvir hi par gayi Suradham. Bharat came and Bharat saw the corpse of his father. They are still there. No shroud was done, nothing. Bharat told his mother, how unfortunate I am. My father is in the heavens, my brother is in the forest, in the kingdom in the forest, and I am stuck with all of you. We learned last night that the Atma of Raja Dashrath had already been in the heavens. Now what happens? Your Atma, when you die, your Atma, your soul can either go straight to heaven, depend on your karma. If you're traveling, sometimes, all of you gotta line up, take out your shoes, take out your belt, all kind of things you gotta take out. But if somebody has a Nexus pass, everybody get Nexus pass? Express. You got a Nexus pass, you express, forget about all the security things and so. Because you're cleared. If we have a Nexus pass with our karma, we have done such pure karmas, such good life we have lived, help people, feed people when they were hungry, clothe people when they needed it, then my friends, when we die, we're going to have a Nexus pass. But if you want to have a Nexus pass, you have to come to 90 Nexus Avenue. What is 90 Nexus Avenue? Huh? Auntie Dana, where Nexus? Here. This is the Nexus. Nexus means to express, to connect you. Huh? When you come to Nexus, you get express. You go straight up. I mean that sincerely because it's a place of pujas and all kinds. Anyways, so tonight I want to start off with a very unusual topic before we go. So the soul now leaves on the 13th day. At 12 o'clock the soul leaves. But what happens now? There are certain times when the soul has done such bad karmas that the soul does not go anywhere. So tonight the first topic we're going to talk about is ghosts. Anybody here believe in ghosts? Have you ever seen one? I was having a conversation recently in Guyana, and the people around there, every time, they say, and they're talking by themselves, I'm observing, and they say, oh God, how many times they see ghosts, and they see Jumbie, and he white, and everything, and all this kind of thing. Long story short, they asked me, so Pandit, you ever see ghosts? I said, why? All I see is God all the time. I've not been so blessed to see ghosts. And it is interesting that how many times we see Jumbie when we are little or ghost. But I think that we should make an effort to see God more. And then ghosts will not come in your life. Well, Garudji asked the question. Garudji says, how do ghosts originate? Kadham preta vasantyatra kidagupa bhavantite. How do ghosts originate? Right? So it means that there is something called ghost. I hope nobody walk and come to the mandir tonight, because you don't have to walk home back, right? So how do ghosts originate? What are their features? What misdeeds have they done to become a ghost? And so there's a beautiful Katha that tells us about this.
Hare Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama Rama Rama
Ram Ram Ram
O Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Hare Rama Rama Ram Sita Ram 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 Hare Rama Rama
Ram Sita Ram Ram Ram
O Pura Treta Yuge Tata Rajasida Bhuvahana Mahodayo Pure Ramye Dharmanishto Mahabala Panjadan Pati Shriman Brahmanya Sadhu Sampata Shilachar Gunopeti Daya Dakshinya Sanyuta Prajapalyate Nityam Putraniva Mahabala Chakyam Dharmarato Nityam Sasandhyam Dhanyata Hare Rama 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 Sita Ram 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 Hare Rama Rama Ram Sita Ram Ram Hare Shama Shama Sham Radhe Sham 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 Hare Shama Shama Sham Radhe Sham 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 Radhe Sham 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 Radhe Sham Sham Sham. Bhagwan Vishnu heard this beautiful request from Garudji. You know, it's so interesting that a vulture meets God, and the vulture is asking Bhagwan, you see the kind of discussion we must be having? We must have, well, not ghost discussion, but we must have good discussions when we meet people. Garudji says, Prabhu, tell me about the ghost. He says, Garudji, well, it seems like you saw a lot when you came to this earth. So here is a beautiful story from the Garud Puran. Pura Treta Yugatota Raja Sida Bhuvahana. In Treta Yug, let me see how many Hindus are in here tonight. How many yugas do we have? How many ages do we have? Huh? How many? 4? You sure? Yes, 4 ages. What is the first age? Satyug. What is the second age? Huh? Treta. And who was prevalent in Treta? Who was dominating in Treta Yug? Ram Bhagwan. And after Treta Yug? Dwapar. And who was dominating in Dwapar? Krishna Bhagwan. And what is the last age? And who is dominating in Kali Yug? Who? Donald Trump? What is this? Hello? Easy. So, very good. I have to give you credit. You know the 4 ages and so on. So, in the age of Treta Yuga, there was a king by the name of Babruvana. This is a beautiful Katha. In the city of Mahodaya. He was a very righteous king. He used to give gifts and perform sacrifices. He was rich. He was revered. He was saintly. He loved the Brahmanas. He was endowed with good manners. He was very sympathetic. He was very powerful, and he protected his subjects. One day, he came out of the lake and he sat under a cool shade of a beautiful fig tree. And he heard the chirping songs of the hovering birds. The tree appeared to be so big and beautiful and a leader among all the trees. And while the king was resting under the tree, guess what happened? He saw a ghost. He saw a ghost who was excessively hungry and thirsty. Imagine that. The ghost was exceedingly hungry and thirsty. The ghost was awful. Appearance was bad. The ghost was dirty, rough, and skinny. Skinny ghost, nobody is feeding him. Right? He was skinny. His feet were mere bones, and there were many other ghosts surrounding him. Tan drishtva vikritam ghoram vismato babruvahana. Babruvahana, the king now, on seeing this hideous ghost, he was struck. He never saw something like this. He saw people all his life, but he wondered, what is this?
भगवान विष्णु ने कहा था कि कदा हृष्टमना भूत्वा तस्यान मुपागतः. He addressed the ghost. He addressed the ghost. He talks to the ghost. Preta bhavu maya taktva prapnosvi paramam gatim. The ghost actually spoke to him first. Verily, by looking at you, O king, my ghosthood has come to an end. O mighty king, thanks to your contact, no one is happier than me today. The king said, Are bhoot? Krishna varnam karalasyam preta eva lakshate. Krishna varnam, you look so dark, you look so skinny. Can you please tell me the exact state of your life before you became a ghost? So imagine the king and the ghost are having a discussion. The ghost says, Preta uvachaham katyapi nripashtasya sarvameva ditastava pretatve karanam shrutva daryam kartum mamarhasi. The prete says, O foremost among king, I will tell you everything of my life from the very beginning. And so what happened? He says, previously, in a particular city by the name of Vaidisha, my name was Sudeva. My name was Sudeva. I propitiated, I prayed to the gods, I made sacrificial offerings. The Brahmins were happy with me. I give them gifts. I give them food. I give them everything they ask for. But what happened? I strayed away from the path of life. I strayed away from the path of life. I strayed away from the path of dharma. I have namostu swanastitaya sahasraya bandhava. I have no friend, no kinsman, no acquaintances to perform my shrad. I died, but I have nobody to perform my shrad. No? Namosmin santatistat na suhatra na bandhava na cha mitram himetatvam karya doshati hetamam. I have no friend. You know, they say that in sickness and in death, you know who are the closest people in your life. He died, Sudev. He did some good things, but when he died, no one was there to do his shraddh. O excellent king, my ghosthood appears to be permanent. It seems like no one will perform my shraddh. The shraddh, like the 11th-day shraddh, the 12th-day shraddh, the 13th-day shraddh, fortnight shraddh, yearly shraddh, it was not done for me. Yasyetani nadiyante preta shradani bhupate pretatvam sutitam tasya date shradhastaterapi. Preta shrad, yasyetani sadiyante preta shradani bhupate. Pret shraddh has not been done for me. They say ghosthood becomes permanent even though 100 of other shraddh are performed. This is the book. Now, how many types of shraddhs are there? There are 96 different types of shraddh. You know, the Brahmanas, all those who, anyways, come and say, I'm Brahman family and all that. The true Brahman people, they, especially the Pandits and so on, they are required to perform on a yearly basis 96 shraddha. 96 shraddha. That is how important it is. When, you know, and I don't want to boast too much. This is an education session. But when people, you know, I think we are all born, I don't know if we're born equal or we equal or whatever it is. But when people want to tell you about their accomplishment, they do not know the sadhana another person does. They do not know the commitment to the dharma another person does. You know, Gayatri Japam, can I ask, don't answer me, but can I ask you every day here, who do all of us chant Gayatri Japam every day? This is the right of a Hindu, this is the right. Brahman Pandits boys who took Janev, Gayatri Japam is a requirement every single day. Gayatri Japam purifies your karmas. Purifies your karmas. Purifies your karmas. Gayatri Japam purifies your speech. Purifies your thinking. Gayatri Japam is a must. Right? Is a must to be done. I want to tell you that unfortunately we do not do these things, but we must. Do some Gayatri Japam every day, however, how much time you can do it. It's very, very important for you in your life, my friends. 96 times, 96 Shrad is done on a yearly basis. Tarpan Shrad, Preta Shrad, Nandi Shrad, all these kind of Shrad are done. One of the Shrad that I think most of you are familiar with, two Shrad are Nandi Shrad and Preta Shrad. Nandi Shrad is done on a celebratory occasion. When you're celebrating before a wedding, before a yajna, before a sanskar, at the birth of a child. These occasions. Remember what happened in Bhagavatam when Bhagwan Shri Krishna took avatar? Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya. In Vraj, they performed the Nandi Shrad. They give 20 lakh gav. 20 lakh kitne hain? When they performed the Nandi Shrad on the occasion of the birth of their son, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, they give 20 lakh cows in charity to the people. 1 lakh is 100,000. Hai na Panditji? 1 lakh, 100,000. 20 lakh, exactly. Right? 20 lakh of cows they give away in charity on the occasion of Nandi Shrad when their son was born. This is the power of Shrad. Shrad is not done only when people die. That is Nandi Shrad. Then we have when you're doing sanskar, if you're doing Upanayan sanskar, Janev, if you're doing a birthday celebration, if you're doing, like when we did my 40th birthday here, big Shrad ceremony were done to honor my ancestors and so on. You do Shrad at different times to honor those who have given you opportunities. But we are familiar with Nandi Shrad and Preta Shrad, done for, when someone dies. The ghost is telling the king, no one did Preta Shrad for me. O king, realizing this, please save me from this ghosthood. Tanmam tare rajendra maniratnam dadhati te yatha mama shubhavaptir bhave niparotamam. The ghost is begging that the king is supposed to be one who befriends people of all caste. Hear me, O king, and save me. No one has been able to listen to me. Everyone runs away from me. But you are blessed to speak to me. Please help me, O foremost among excellent kings. Save me, save me, save me. So the king says, no, again, I want to explain to me a little, how do ghosts originate even? Na? Katham preta bhavantiha kutairanyo dhravaitite. We know Shrad, because of Shrad they do not move on. Tomorrow is Mahalaya Amavasya. Let me remind all of you again, all our lovely Hindus who are listening online and in the temple as well, so many of you. Tomorrow is Mahalaya Amavasya. It is a very, very, very powerful day. I put very, very and stack a lot of very, very upon it. Because it is the day when, if you do Shrad tomorrow to your ancestors, you are going to, you maybe are potentially, you are going to free them from any form of bondage that they're in. Tomorrow we are doing in the morning 7 o'clock. We have about 30 families. We're going to sit down, and perform Pindadan, followed by Pitra Tarpan, Deva Tarpan, Rishi Tarpan, Manushya Tarpan, Bhishma Tarpan, the whole work, the whole Tarpan Vidhi we're doing tomorrow for 2 hours, very detailed. It's not just Tarpan and you go home back. 2 hours. You cannot pay for things like that, right? We are affording this opportunity to the young and old. People signed up. That's the only way you can do it, sign up. But anyways, we are allowing this opportunity so that there are no pritra doshas in your life, right? The king says, well, how do ghosts originate after we know that Shrad is not done? The Preta said, O excellent king, Devadravyam cha brahmastvam Sri Bala Dhanaschayam He haranti ye haranti nipashreshta Preta yoni vrajantute. O king, here is how a person become a ghost. Those who steal, no? Devadravyam cha brahmastram. Those who steal or misappropriate the wealth of others. Those who steal or misappropriate the wealth of others, they become a preta. They become a ghost. It is very difficult for them to ascend. And Sri Bala Dhanasrayam, who misappropriate, who steal from a temple, who misappropriate wealth, who dishonor women, who dishonor women. There is a Vedic saying. This here is an important saying. Yatra naryanti pujyante ramanti tatra devata. Yatra naryanti pujyante. Yatra means wherever. Naryanti means nari, women. Wherever women pujyante, wherever women are worshipped. Ramanti, that place, tatra devata, that place the devatas will reside. To all the men who are beating your wives, I am sorry for you. You are living in hell and you will continue to, because that is not something that we should ever do. To torture women, worship them. Our Sri Vidya tradition, my guru from Bangalore, in Navratri time, you know what they do? They put their wife to sit on a chair and they do puja on their feet, wash their feet, give them sari, sindoor, everything. Right? Yatra naryanti pujante ramanti tatra devata. Remember that tonight, where women are worshipped. Not the nowadays wash down business where women are respected and powerful or given position. Where Hinduism says, where women are worshipped. Today the world is fighting for women equal rights and all that. I agree with that. I don't disagree with that. I think it's quite insulting actually to fight for women empowerment when women are already the most powerful creatures on this earth. Hindus have always believed that. Hindus have always treated women like that. The dharma I'm talking about, not the people. Yatra naryanti pujante ramanti tatra devata. You miss or you ill-treat a woman, you'll become a zombie. Hello? Is there any other raw or simple way to put that? Treat women with respect. Huh? Those who ill-treat women, those who, anyway, you got to boil this thing down, because if you go too raw, you'll insult people. Those who steal the conch, they become ghosts. Those who steal, stealing as a big thing. Those who become false witnesses. Those who lie. Those who accuse others. It goes on, a major list of things here. My friends, it all boils down to the same thing. If you do good thing in life, you got nothing to worry about. You'll become a god when you die. You'll become a god when you're alive. You will live a godly life when you do good. Don't steal from people. If you want to elevate in life, work very hard. You ask any rich people in this life, all the rich people I know who have come to BSM here, you get a few of them, quite a few of them. You look at they work very hard. But everybody wants to get rich overnight without working hard. I say if you want to get rich overnight without working hard, then you have a lot of problems in your life. You have bigger problems than wanting to become rich. But live simple. Don't steal from anybody. Enrich their lives. No? Satya barabar tap nahi. Don't speak false things. Don't set people up in life. There is no other tapa, there is no other prayer than speaking the truth. Jhoot barabar paap. There is no other sin worse than telling lies. No? Satya moola sab sukriti suhava. Satya, speaking the truth, is the root of all virtues in this life. Our ancestors feel very happy when we live such noble lives. The ghost is saying to the king, this is how you become a ghost, when you engage in all these dirty activities of life. The king says, Raja Vacha, Katham muktva bhavantiha preta tvam chatepiya Katham chapi maya karya drevadiha yakatmana. How are ghosts freed? How can we free you? How can I break this knot? How can I free you from becoming a preta? How am I to perform the rites to prevent my own future disaster? The king is asking. I don't want to become no zombie. I don't want to become a wandering ghost. What do I have to do to prevent that? What are the rules regarding the performance of such rites?
Hare Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Hare Rama 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 Sita 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 Rama 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 Hare Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Hare Rama
Rama Rama Sita Rama Rama Rama.
O Shrunu Rajena Samshopadviti Narayanatmakam Satchidanand Shravanam Vishnu Puja Sajjana Sangati Pretayoni Vinashaya Bhavanti Tamaya Shrutam Atho Vakshapite Vishnu Pujam Pretata Vishanam Hare Shama 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 Radhe Shama 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 Hare Shama 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 Radhe Shama 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 Radhe Shama 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 Radhe Shama Shama Shama.
Let us look at the preventative method first. If you are going to do certain things and it's going to make you a ghost, then the preventative thing means simple, don't do it. How can you avoid from being a preta? Do not do these things that were outlined. Don't steal, don't tell lies, don't set people up, all these kind of things. Just live a very simple life. I think there'll be a cure to many, many diseases on this earth. But when gossip is cured on this earth, then Bhagwan will walk upon this earth. When people stop talking the nonsense they are about other people, God will walk on this earth and people will become gods. But we think that a little bit a laddu to Ganesha, a little bit of banana to Hanumanji will take us to heaven when we still have our bad habits. These little bad habits, let them go. They're holding you back. You know what is worse? Is when you become a ghost, nobody know. If you died and you become a ghost, I wouldn't know unless I see you walking around. And that'll be pretty embarrassing. But what is more embarrassing is when we live a ghostly life. It is horrible to see a physical person become a ghost and walk around because of their actions. The ghost says, King, it is very important. The things that will make you become a ghost, stay away from those activities. And secondly, if a person has become a ghost, a preta, that does not ascend to the heavens, how can you help? We don't know where our ancestors are. I'm sure all of you have some kind of dream. Some kind of dream that your daddy play with, or daddy appear with a black hair or something like that. I don't know what kind of dreams you were having. Fancy dreams. I don't know, what is happening to your ancestors, neither mine. I know that because of their good karmas, they are in heaven. But the question is, how can we help a ghost, a preta, to ascend? How can we do that? Very simple. Ato vakshyamite Vishnu pujam preta nivashana. How did Dundukari ascend to the heavens? Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Katha was read. He was invited to come. The ghost, the preta, was invited to come and to sit and listen to the Bhagavad Katha. And by listening to the Katha, what happened to him? By listening to beautiful, devotional, soothing music, you become devotional and soothing. Please remember, Bhagavad Gita says, you become what you eat. You also become what you listen. If you put trash music through your ears, that is what you'll become. Devotional music, my friends, is that which relaxes you, is that which takes you from the earth to the heaven while you're still sitting on the earth. Devotional music is divine. He says that listen to devotional music, do the puja of Bhagwan Vishnu. There's an elaborate process here. Listen to Bhagavad Katha. Before we do yajna, what we do, we invite our ancestors to come, so that they will be part, they will be here. And the Katha, when it is recited, their Atma becomes elevated as well when we do that. The ghost is saying, this is what should happen. Do the puja of Narayan Bhagwan. Sing the Katha of the Lord. That's why I told you today Bhagavad Katha has been read in India so many times. In Pitrupaksh, because it is Mukti Dwar, Moksha Dwar. It is the doorway to heaven. It's a doorway of release for our ancestors. When the king heard this, Ati Prasanna Katha, the king was very pleased. And the king says, now that you have told me, O Preta, that you no Shraddha was performed for you, I will perform a Shraddha for you. The king, a king, is now going to perform a Shraddha for someone he does not know. You know the beauty of Shraddha? Tomorrow, all those who are sitting for Shraddha, at the end of the Shraddha, after you do, Shraddha is not for only departed. The first part of Shraddha is for Devatarpanam. Brahma Tripyantam, Vishnu Tripyantam, Rudra Tripyantam, Prajapati Tripyantam. After the first Shraddha, that Tarpan, you do Divya Manush, Om Sanak Tripyatam, Sanandan Tripyatam, Sanatana Tripyatam, and so on. The third part, right? So one is the east, the second one is the north, third one is the east again. Marichi Tripyantam, Atri Tripyantam, Angira Tripyantam, those are for the sages. Then you turn to the southern direction now. Kavyavadandala Tripyatam, Iram Satilam Tasmai Swadhanama. Then you do Yam Tarpan. Yamaye Nama, Dharmarajaye Nama, Mrityave Nama, Antakaye Namaha. 3 times for each name. Then the 6th part is for the departed. You start to call their names. Asmai Pitanam Adheyasya Tasmai Satilam Jalam Tasmai Swadhanama. You call a name, you offer. Then the 7th part, after you call all their names of the ancestors, tomorrow is a day you call sister, brother, servant, everybody you call. Then after that now, you do Bhishma Tarpanam. Vayagrapada Gotraya Sangriti Parvaraya Cha Aputraya Dadami Tajjalam Bhishmaya Varmane. And then the 8th part of Tarpan is Abrahmastam Paryamtam Devarshi Pitramanava. Abrahmastam. Sahi baat hai Panaji? Sahi baat hai? Am I speaking truth? 8th part of Tarpan is when you think of anybody who have passed away, you think about them. Abrahmastam Paryamtam Devarshi Pitramanava Tripyantu. You think about them. If you don't even remember them, you think about them. And the last part of Tarpan, you turn eastern direction. Ihi Suryo Sahasram Shote. Who's that for? Surya Bhagavan, the last part. 9 parts Tarpan have. So you see the beauty of Tarpan, the beauty of Shraddha is that you give everyone who you know a chance to relieve. You know the kind of blessing that you're having for that. When you see certain people are prospering in life, you watch the lifestyle that they live. You'll watch a simple man or a simple woman who has, no names, no title behind his name, or who is not so, and you watch the lifestyle that they live. You will know, you will see the progress, what is pushing them, the karmas that they do. Such a beautiful thing. Tomorrow we do that for devotees, and we ask that everyone that they know, may their Atma attain mukti. And the king now, he did that Tarpana for the Shraddha Vidhi, and the ghost, of course, became, he was elevated. Bole Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. We're going to go into the second part of our discussion tonight. We plan to do 3 parts of the discussion. The second part is called Dan. Dan is not anybody's name. Dan or Dan. Dan means charity. Dan means charity. And what is it that we give in charity? We were talking last night, my sister and I, all the people are talking. People, sometimes you hear when somebody dead, you gotta give gold cow, right? So my question is, suppose a poor man or a woman die now, and they don't have money to buy a gold cow. I guess they're stuck on earth, right? Because Bhagwan is unfair, he only accepts the rich. Well, we're gonna talk about that a little bit, and what you can do in your way. Tomorrow is a day, I'm telling you, you can't say I'm giving you short notice. Hello, I have it recorded. I've been talking about Mahavalaya Amavasya for a long time. I'll tell you what you can do tomorrow to help you and help your ancestors elevate. I'd like to sing a song tonight. I understand Bhaiji Omkar like the song here. Bhai Omkar, I know you, I'm your family priest. I know your likes and dislikes. So I understand you like Pitumatu Sahayika Swami Sakha. So I don't know the song too much, but I would like to sing it tonight. The song is saying that you are a father, Prabhu, or a mother, or a friend, and or a savior. You protect all those who have no form of support in this world. Tumahi kanat hamare. You are the Lord Prabhu. You provide happiness in many forms. You destroy the sufferings of all. Let us sing this beautiful song, and then we'll talk about Dan tonight. Two more segments of discussion. One is called Dan, and then we talk about the soul's journey to Bhagwan Yam, where the soul got to go, what kind of punishment or what kind of leisure it will enjoy.
Pitumatu Sahayik Swami Sakha तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो पितु मातु सहायक स्वामी सखा तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो जिनके कछु और आधार नहीं जिनके तुम ही रखवारे हो पितु मातु सहायक
स्वामी सखा तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो
सब भांति सदा सुखदायक हो दुख दुर्गण नाशन हारे प्रतिपाल करो प्रतिपाल करो सगरे जग को अतिशय करुणा उर्धारे ओ पितु मातु सहायक स्वामी सखा तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो शुभ शांति निकेतन प्रेम निधे मन मंदिर की उजियारी हो इस जीवन के तुम जीवन हो इस प्राणों तुम प्यारे हो तुम सो प्रभु पाए प्रताप करी केही के अब और सहारे हो पितु मातु सहायक स्वामी सखा तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे
Shanti Niketana Prema Dide Mana Mandir Ke Ujiyari Ho. O Lord, you are the repository of peace, love, and auspiciousness. It is that, Lord, that we bow to this evening, and we seek His guidance on all our departed ones. This next chapter talks about Dan. Garudji asked Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Narayan Bhagavan, that Prabhu, I've come on this earth and see so many people giving gifts. What are the benefits of giving gifts in life? Gifts are very important, my friends, when you're alive to do. And I think I'm going to talk a little bit about what we see when someone dies as well. There are so many things that happen. When I was little and they do Shrad, I used to see at some point in the 10th day or so, they'll take out the umbrella and open it, and they'll hold it up under the person, and I didn't know what that meant. Rain wasn't falling, anything like that. So I don't know what that meant. So we have to know what that means, to understand it a little bit and to explain to the younger people what all of that means. Janato gyanato vapi yannare kalasham kritam tasya papasya suddhartam vidheya nishkrito niraiha. Bhagwan Narayan says, Janato gyanato vapi yannare kaluvam krita. Whatever sin a person commits in his life, yes, our pujas, our pratana, our chanting, it can allow you to vanish them. We talked about that in Shravan Mass so much. Additionally, whatever sins a man commits consciously or unconsciously, vihit ho or avihit ho, stands in need of purification by the means of atonement. It means whatever sins we have done, we have to atone. It means we have to cleanse. How do we cleanse? What is one of the way of cleansing? Bhasma disnana dashakama adu kuryadu chakshana yatha shakti padabhyadrip prayattatman chadedapi. The wise one should first perform baths, they should do pujas, they should be observed when they are healthy and happy. But in addition to all of that, Dan is extremely important in life. The 10 gifts that are described in the Garud Puran. Go bhutila, hiranyajya, hiranyavaso dhanya gudastataham, rajatam lavanam chaiva danapi dashave viduhu. The 10 types of gifts that are given in the Garud Puran. Go, cow. Right? Cow. But I'm going to tell you as it is, and then you can water it down and so if you choose to, if you don't believe the dharma, anything like that. The gift of a cow is very important in our dharma. Why the gift of a cow? Go is mata. And why is it important? This shloka that I'll read to you. Papani bhasmasatitva. We can come up with a lot of things to say why gift of a cow is important in life. Right? Why gift of, but what does the book say? O noble bird, Garuda, since the cow's milk is nectar, whoever gives a cow, they attain immortality. You are giving a cow, and a cow milk is nectar. Gau Mata ki doodh amrit hai. Right? The milk of mother cow is amrit, it is nectar. And when you give the gift of a cow, you are giving nectar, you are giving medicine. Gau Mata ki doodh aushad hai. Right? You're giving that aushad, that medicine to somebody, that nectar to somebody. By giving nectar, you attain immortality, you attain freedom. The gift of a cow, he talks about. That's the first one. And there are many critics on this. There's been anyway, people talking about when people want to vent and nobody even talk back to them, they go on Facebook. And they write a whole bunch of things that the Hindus have to give cow. What if you don't have cow? I'm saying that the thing says, hey, yatha shakti, you give according to your means. If you're going to get called, you gotta do good deeds. Think well, make people happy. Don't, make people suffer in the life. Go bhu. So the first one is cow, second is bhu. What is bhu? Bhu means bhumi, the earth. You give earth, land to people as a gift. I want to tell you that all of you people are extremely blessed because all of you have gifted land in your life. All of you here. You know why? Because the land the temple that you're sitting in is sitting on a land. 3.4 acres of land this temple was built on. And I'm so proud that as a Guyanese person, as a nobody, we were as a team able to influence thousands and thousands of people to contribute pennies and thousands of dollars to buy this land and build this building. For that, you have no idea what blessings you have. You have no idea how blessed you are to contribute to the purchase of a land. Go bhu, till. Tilanjali, the gift of till is very auspicious in life. Gold, if you have gold, you can give gold as well. Butter, cloth. Na? Go bhu, tila, hiranya. Hiranya means gold. Hiranya, and then we have cloth, the gift of clothing. Grains, dhanya. This is from the Purana, grains. Then good or gur. Anybody ever had gur here? The Indian folks have gur. When they have tea, they take a piece of gur and they put it in most of them don't use sugar. Gur is like a hard thing. First time to India, I went to a gur factory. They were making of sugar cane. It's very sweet. The guys have it downstairs and panete. They eat good gur in tea. Nice and sweet. Give gur, no? Which means sugar, sweet. Silver, salt. These are known as the 10 gifts that can help a person elevate in life. He should make these gifts to those who have come during atonement. And then they talk about Vaiterni and so on. Anyways, why is it important to give these things? Chhatropana havastrani mudrikacha kamandalu asanam bhajanam bhojyam padam chasti vidham smritam. Now let me get to the umbrella story here now. Chatro. Chatro is Sanskrit for chatram. Chatra, which means umbrella. Right? Umbrella. Panavahastrani. Pan, pada, means slippers or shoes. Vastrani, clothes. Mudrika, ring. Good, we talk about that. Asanam. Asanam bhajanam bhojam. Asanam means a seat. Bhajanam means a vessel. A thali, a cup, a lota. Asanam bhajanam bhojam. And food. These are the 8 kinds of pada to give as well. So they talk about the gift of these things in life. While a person is what? Alive. While a person is alive. For those of you, and Garud Puran is very informative, those of you who have done things for, you'll notice when I give you a list for Shrad, there is no mention of umbrella, slippers, or blanket, or lamp, or any other thing. Why? Because we have to give a slippers to a person when they are physically able to wear it. You understand? You have to give a blanket to someone when they are alive and it's cold, they can put it around their body. Because nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kledayantapo, na shoshayati maruta. The soul cannot be cut by a weapon, it cannot be burned by fire, it cannot be blown away by wind, it cannot be drenched by water. If the soul cannot be drenched by water, why do you give a blanket at the time of Shroud so the soul, when he feels cold, he can wrap up the pandit, carry home? The pandit is going to cover with it. I got lots of blanket. I'm not telling you not to give blanket, I'm telling you to give dan. You can give whatever you want to give when somebody dies. You can give blankets, you can give everything else. But if you're giving it with the intent that the Atma have to cover itself, the Gita says the Atma cannot be drenched by water. So if the Atma cannot be drenched by water or blown away by the wind, it means the Atma doesn't. Anyways, so give these things to some people, when they are alive and when they can use it. Which comes to my 30 lines that I wrote. Right? The 30 lines that I wrote. There's one here. Putting the clothes, in my experience, when somebody dies, at the time when they're dead, in the casket, you're going to bring the pants. If it's a man, I'm going to bring the pants, or bring some short jack and something, and I put in the casket. And some slippers, and so I'm like, why are you doing this? And they say, was his favorite, this was his favorite pants, this was his favorite shirt. And I would ask, this will go in the fire, right? It'll go in the fire. Yes, but, we want to put it. So I'm like, okay, you can put it. Do not expect me to recite a mantra for that, because there is nothing like that. You're putting it because you want to feel good about it. But I want you to know, if you put in your daddy's favorite pants or your favorite shirt or your watch or something like that, I'm telling you this. One time I saw a man cremated with a tagweer wristwatch. You know what a tagweer is? Minimum $2,000 wristwatch. I was so tempted to ask for the wristwatch. A tagweer wristwatch? Are you kidding me? I said, give me the thing. You're going to burn a minimum $2,000. And that is a lower model of a tagweer. The thing was big and it had all these dials and things. That was about $3,000. Burn. Right? We want to go with it. He's not going to go with it. They're going not I be a kela, jai be a kela, dodin kazindagi. They're not going to go with any wristwatch, non-shot and pants. Everything is going to go in the fire. But what you have to do is be sensitive to these things, because people are grieving and they want to burn the shot and pants, or they think that they're going to go with the shot and pants. That's fine, they'll think like that, but that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, because Atma doesn't need that. There's a beautiful song, a very old song.
कभी प्यासे को पानी पिलाया नहीं, बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा। कभी प्यासे को पानी पिलाया नहीं, बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा। कभी गिरते हुए को उठाया नहीं, बाद आंसू बहाने से क्या फायदा। कभी प्यासे को पानी पिलाया नहीं, बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा। हो मैं तो मंदिर गया, गुरु आरती की पूजा करते हुए ये ख्याल आ गया। हो मैं तो मंदिर गया, पूजा आरती की पूजा करते हुए ये ख्याल आ गया। कभी माँ बाप की सेवा की ही नहीं, सिर्फ पूजा के करने से क्या फायदा। कभी प्यासे को पानी पिलाया नहीं, बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा। मैं तो सत्संग गया, गुरुवाणी सुनी, गुरुवाणी को सुनकर ख्याल आ गया, हो मैं तो सत्संग गया, गुरुवाणी सुनी, गुरुवाणी को सुनकर ख्याल आ गया, जन्म मानव काले के दया ना करी, फिर मानव कहलाने से क्या फायदा, कभी प्यासे को पानी पिलाया नहीं,
बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा,
हो बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा, बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा, कभी प्यासे को पानी पिलाया नहीं, बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा. When someone is alive and you did not give them water when they were thirsty, why are you going to give them honey when they are dead? Kya fayda? The question is, kya fayda? What is the benefit of offering honey to someone when they're dead? Panaji, put some more honey, it gotta be sweet. How sweet it is, I don't know. What is the person? You can't give a person a bottle of water when they're alive. Why you give honey when they die? कभी गिरते हुए तो उठाया नहीं. You know how fight come in a funeral? कभी गिरते हुए तो उठाया नहीं. Everybody wants to lift the casket. Everybody wants to lift the casket. कभी गिरते हुए तो उठाया नहीं. When the person was alive, they fall along, you know, help them lift them up back. But when they're dead, everyone wants to lift a dead person. Everyone wants to lift a dead person. No one wants to help a person when they're alive to get up, because they'll get more up than them, right? Back home when I was little, when you go to a funeral, everybody who come to the funeral guys play perfume for you. No perfume, dead man perfume. They got special perfume for dead man. It's called dead man perfume. We had a little shop, my sister here tonight. She know about that stuff. We used to have something called dead man perfume. We labor dead man perfume. Funeral, all the dead man perfume gone. When someone is dead, everyone wants to spray perfume on you. But when you're alive, they throw dirt on you. What's this? It makes no sense at all. Brighten people's lives. Light some light for them. Spray some perfume from them when they're alive. Buy some nice thing and give them. I don't use perfume, so please don't give me that. I'm telling about you. I don't use anything that smell. But the thing is, add beauty to people's life when they're alive, right? When the rain is falling, you got a big nice umbrella and somebody wants shade, give them a little shade. Give them a little shelter. When they're dead, giving umbrellas makes sense, right? How many people do we know on this planet who don't wear shoes? They can't afford it. This morning we had a food drive here. I want to thank everybody who came out and who gave food. We had a nice turnout for 2 hours. The Mangrove family, all the children come. 150 after 150, I pull in like this and a half load food. I feel great. The kids brought so much food. Many people here brought food, right? You don't know. I'm telling you this. We have been doing this for years. You don't know how many people living in Canada, right here in Brampton, don't have food to eat. They can't afford it. You know, this year groceries gone up 11% in Canada. How many of you got an 11% raise at work? Huh? How many of you got an 11% raise in work? 11% grocery, inflation, how much percent gone up? You add inflation plus grocery out, did you get that much raise at work? Imagine the people who are living, you know, who are living because they had to cut back on their meals. They got to eat 1 or 2 meals a day. It's a good thing. But some of them don't have food to eat. They don't have food to eat. Not because of their choices, or maybe because of the choices. Who cares? People make mistakes in life, and some people, it is because of circumstances. But we have a responsibility. Give people something when they can use it. Because the man or the woman in the casket cannot hear your cries, cannot hear your praises, cannot
benefit from anything that you're going to give them, you do that while you're alive. That is why Raja Dashrath went straight to Surdham. Feed people. It's a very good thing to feed people. Buy food for people. Feed them. People don't have to be rich or poor before you feed them. Right? The richest of men, the richest of kings. Let's take to Raja Parikshit when he went to the forest. The king of kings of kings of kings was Raja Parikshit. He has everything. But when he was hunting, he showed up at Sringarishi's house, no? Thirsty. And just because he couldn't get water, he put a death snake around the sage's neck. Hunger and thirst are not limited to the poor. If a rich man or a woman is hungry and you buy a food for them, they will feel happy. They'll feel happy. So feed people when they are alive. You all know the story of Karna. Karna was the first of the Pandavas. I call him a Pandava because he's Mother Kunti's first son. Karna was known to be a Dani. He would give anything that anyone asked of him. Even his protective kavacha that he was wearing, that protected him, he's the son of Surya, Suryaputra Karna. When Raja Indra took the disguise of a Brahmana and went to beg him for the kavacha, he says, I know you're Indra, you're the father of Arjun, but I'm going to give you because I'm a Dani. He took out his kavacha, his protective garb, and he gave it to him. Because what are we or who are we if we cannot give or share a little bit that we have? Right? Animals share. Human beings have to learn to share a little bit more. Because not only are we paving the path for our Atma, we are setting examples to those who we are leaving behind. Karna went to the heavens, and although he was such a good Dani, you know what he never did? He never fed people. Dharmaraj told him, you can't enter heavens. He says, why? He said, you never fed people. You never fed the Brahmanas, you never fed people. He said, please allow me to go back to the earth so that I can feed people. That was the only time when someone was allowed to come back on this earth to complete their duty. Karna. So important it is. So gifts, don't let anybody tell you that because you're this and that, you can't give, and as long as your mind clean, I think you know where I stand with that. As long as your mind clean, you're okay. No. Your mind has to be clean for everything. Your mind has to be clean for every single thing. But we have responsibilities in this life. Let's fulfill them. Let's not run away from our responsibilities because we are too busy, my friends. And so that is that's called the Dan, the chapter of gifts in the Garud Puran. And finally now, as we're coming to the close, I will talk a little bit about the path to Yama. Because after the 13th day now, what will happen? You did your Dan, you did your Shrad, and so on. I think that as Hindus, please do not ever embrace any watered down version of your Dharma. Of course, if you are a watered down Hindu, then you will do that. But I'm sure none of you are. I'm a little bit straightforward with my Katha, with Garud Puran, because you know sometimes it upsets people when you speak things as it should. And for a lot of people, when you flavor up things and tell them, nah, bother with all the man, that old time thing, you know, as long as your heart clean and your mind clean, you're all right. People sometimes like that because you're telling them things they like to hear. So lucky for me, I'm not in the likable business. I don't want to be likable because my job here is to help. My job here is to steer, right? So what happens now? We go to the path to Yam. After the 13-day ceremony, you did your pindas, you did your dan, you did everything that you have to do. And the Atma now takes the astral body, right? The Atma now takes an astral body, which means it takes the airy body, and it's going to start its journey now. 16 pindas are offered on the 12th day for the 16 cities that the Atma is going to travel, right? 16 cities. This is called the journey to Yam.
जय जय नारायण भगवान गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान जय जय नारायण भगवान गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान ओ जय जय नारायण भगवान गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान जय जय नारायण भगवान गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान जय जय नारायण भगवान गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान जय जय नारायण भगवान
गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान।
ॐ त्वमगीतान् हित्याक्षां गृहीतो यमि शङ्करेह तस्मिन् मारो व्रजन्त्येको गृहीणा इव मर्कतः जय जय नारायण भगवान गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान
जय जय नारायण भगवान गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान।
हो व्यास वावसव्याघ्रसिर्धूपं देहमन्या प्रपद्यते तत्पिण्डजयं पात्रं मन्यतु पितृसंबभ्रो जय जय नारायण भगवान गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान जय जय नारायण भगवान
गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान।
हो गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान गरुड़ के नारायण भगवान। The Garud Puran says, Deepadanam prakartavyam avarpyantu grihadaki. Deepadanam prakartyantu. For 1 year, the Garud Puran is saying, for 1 year, a deep is lit in the home of the person. Today we do it for 13 days because we are there and so, but for 1 year, the deepam is lit in the home. A lamp should be kept burning at the door of the house. Food, water, clothes, all that must be given, and that satisfies the preta. Now it starts his journey. Bhagavan Vishnu says, Garud, I will tell you how people will go to the abode of Yama. Bhagavan Yamdev or Yamraj, he is the god of death. He has 14 names. Tomorrow morning we'll do 42 tarpan to Bhagavan Yam. 42 tarpan for each name. Om Yamaya Namah, Yamaya Namah, Yamaya Namah, Dharmarajaya Namah, Dharmarajaya Namah, Dharmarajaya Namah, Mrityave Namah, Mrityave Namah, Mrityave Namah, and so on. 42 times his name is called. Because he has to be happy as well. Now I'll tell you, Bhagavan Vishnu says, how people go to Yama's abode. On the 13th day, after the Shravana Karma or the Preta Shraddha is done, on the 13th day, after the Shraddha is done, the Atma is captured by Yama's attendants and he begins his journey. Vayavya. Vayavya is Sanskrit for Vayu, which means air. The Atma takes an air body, just like we talked about yesterday, an astral body, and that body is born out of the Pindadan. The astral body is born out of Pindadan. So if you did not do Pindadan, there's no body. Makes sense, right? Soul becomes a preta. The body is born out of the Pindadan and assumes the shape in different forms and so on, and it starts its journey. Now, what happens here? It talks about the 16 cities it has to go through. What are the 16 cities that it goes through? Yamyam Sauri Puram Nagendra Bhavanam Gandharva Shailagamo Krauncham Kraurapuram Vichitra Bhavanam Bahabadam Dukhadama. These are the names, eh? Nanakrandapuram Sutapta Bhavanam Raudram Payovarshanam Shitadayam Bahubhiti Shodasha Puran Yetan Drishani Tate. The 7 cities, these are 16 cities. Yamya Saurapuram Nagendra Bhavana Gandharvaj Shailagrama Krauncha Kraurpura Vichitra Bhavan Bahabadapada Dukkada Nanakrandapur Sotatta Bhavan Raudra Payovarshan Sitadaya Bhubhiti. When the Panditji offers the 16 Pinda on the 12th day, Pratamo Pinda Yamya Sauripuram. The first Pinda is for Sauripur. Second Pinda is for Nagendra Bhavan. Third Pinda Gandharva Shail. This is the mantra the Panditji does. So he builds, it's a building process, stacking of energies. You see how Pandita is not an easy thing? Show your Panditji, the soul of your ancestor. Not fully dependent, but mostly dependent on him. So he better know what he's doing. He has to know what he's doing. It's a very technical piece. It's a very skillful piece. And it must be done properly. It has to be done properly. The 16 pindas are offered for the 16 cities. Then he goes to Yam saying, you know, it is said that when the soul is leaving for the journey on the 13th day, it starts to cry. Tatra yamya puram ganchat putra pautradicha. It cries if it has siblings or putra pautradi, children, and so it's because nobody wants to leave. This here is not, you know, the devatas are praying to have this body to enjoy what we are enjoying. The soul is crying as he's leaving. And that is why we have to try our best to do good things. On the 13th day, be happy. Do puja, sing, so that the Atma, my friends, can witness the joy and the happiness in you when it's leaving. And anyways, it goes there now. What happens? Here on earth, Masikam Pindavana Shri Tata Sauri Puram Vrajet Vajasrenam Praravate Mudvararana Pidita. Here on earth, whatever is given by the soul, by relatives, every month, the pinda, etc., due to affection or kindness, he eats the same, the Atma eats the same, and then goes to the city. He cries again if nothing has been offered. You've probably been told by Masik Pinda. What is Masik Pinda? Monthly Pindas, very important. For those Hindus who want to absorb these things, please do it. On a monthly basis nowadays, people do satsang and things like that. Get the guidance from people who know about these things. The soul cry if nothing was done. The soul is asked when he goes to Sauripuro, Jalashayo naiva krita maya. Did you construct a tank? Did you give people water when you were on the earth? No? Long ago people used to make tank and so, but today we can give somebody a bottle of water. Did you satiate the thirst of people while you were on the earth? Yamdev, his attendants have the, they're going to punish you. Did you satiate the thirst of the people, the beasts and the birds when you were on this earth? When we do Shraddh ceremony, we offer 5 bhojan. One of them is for the crows, kaka kawa adi. We feed the birds with the food that we offer. Tomorrow morning, 1 plate of food will be given to everybody here for it's called agrasanam. Did you ever feed the birds? Did you ever give them water? Did you ever give people water when they were alive? Give somebody water? Huh? Did you ever feed the animals? Tada manushyate tedam. It talks about the pastures and so on. Anyways, did you ever feed the animals? Animal care is very important. Hindus are all animal people. We look at all the devatas, except Bhagwan Ram. They all are there to care for the animals. Have you ever cared for the animals? If not, you will be treated accordingly. King Jangaman rules in that city, who can assume any shape at will. He can take the form of a ghost, the form of a king, the form of a bull, the form of a beast to attend to you, depend on what you want. Out of fear of that king's frowns, he eats the rice balls. Whatever is offered to them, again, on the monthly, they eat that. He's struck with clubs, so on and so on. The soul cries. Nanitya danam nagava kritam kritam pustam nadanam nahi veda sastro Purana drushto nahi sevito dhava sharira na nistarayatvam kritam vayadum. Have you given gifts in your life? Sacred books. Nityadanam gavahikam kritam. Pustakam. Pustak means book. Pustakam chadatam nahi veda shastriyo. Have you given someone a book or afforded learning for anyone in their life? No. Gift of a book is nice. Gift of knowledge is nice. This represents gift of knowledge. Have you ever given the gift of knowledge to anyone in life, right? Have you ever done that? Well, what about the Dharma Shastras? Today we are buying so many things for people. There are so many books you can buy to educate a Hindu. Buy a book on Krishna. Ramayana is in Hindi for those for English who can't read Hindi. Buy a Gita and give it to somebody. Educate them and don't arty the book, live the book. Have you offered Puran and the Dharma Shastra? If not, well, you'll have your rewards there. He goes to Nagendra Nagar and having eat the pindas, if any was offered for him, I'm referring to him as the soul. No, he moves further. As he goes, he laments being struck with the sword. Oh fool, what am I? I have lost everything to others. I spent my life only feeding myself, not others. That's a wrong time to regret this thing, and you can't do nothing. You're in there already. I obtain manhood, the soul is reflecting, by the virtue of accumulated merit. This is what the book is saying this. Mahata punya yogena manushyam lashyadhanam. I obtain manhood. Manhood here means power. I obtain power by acquiring merits for myself. No? We think that the more we acquire, and the more we acquire, and the more we acquire, the more powerful we become. Maybe you become powerful on this earth, but are you doing something virtuous, something noble? Are you doing that? The book says, I obtain manhood by the virtue of accumulated merits, but I have not obtained peace by sharing those merits with people. He goes now to Gandhamadana in the 3rd month. He eats pindas if they are offered to him. Then the soul cries, I have neither given gifts nor poured oblations into the fire, nor undertook penance in the caves. No? Maya na dattam na hatam hatashyate. I gotta quote the Sanskrit, or you think I make up this stuff? Maya na dattam na hutam hutasyase. Tapo na taptam himashayela shankare. Tapo na taptam. Tapo means tapasya. Na taptam. Have I done any tapasya in my life? Have I done any tapasya? Have I offered Havan Samagri in the Havan Kund? Have I done that? One time we have 24 Havan, Mrityunjay Havan here, 108 Multi-Kund Havan. People think, we want money from them. That is the first thing when you do these things, people think you want money from them. People think you want money from them when you do these things. I want to tell you that the money that you give and the money that you donate, it's all nice, the temple is open. But that's just to compensate putting on the switch, right? Sunday morning, we ask people here to donate $350 to the temple. You can feed bhojan to people who come. You can sit down for puja. People think we want money from them. The minute you open the door, $350 burn out. The minute you put on the gas and do all and thing in the kitchen, another $350 done. But people have always thought that mandirs are there to rip them off. That's what we think. But to be afforded the opportunity to do Mrityunjay Havan, to do Vedic Havan here in the temple and in the compound, that is a blessing that we cannot let go. That's why we don't set price for it outside there. You come, you do your Havan, you give what you want, people give, some people get, some people don't get, no problem. We're all here to uplift each other. Have you done any Havan? He was asked. I've never poured oblations into the Havan. Have I done any tapasya? Nataptam hi. Tapo nataptam. Have I done any tapasya? Have I taken a bath in the Ganga? No. Nasevitam Ganga. Nasevitam Ganga hamayo mahajalam shariram. Nasevitam Ganga mahayo masharirim. Have I taken a dip in the Ganga? I'm going to be a little bit direct here. All of us, we must give up this 7-day thing that we're going for a year or two and go to India. Go to India. Go to the Ganga when you go to the India, not to the resort. Right? Take a dip into the Ganga. How many pools have you taken a dip in Jamaica and Barbados and St. Kitts and wherever? Have you taken a dip in the Ganga? The panity expensive. No. Stop doing a lot of things for a couple of years. Save up your money. I don't know what next year brings us. But if next year looks good, my feet is itching to go to India. I like to take a few people with me and do some tapasya. You come, we do tapasya. There is no sightseeing, tapasya. because that's what I know to do. You can go and do sightseeing on your own time, but let's go do tapasya. Have you ever taken a dip into the Ganga? No? Suffer for what you have done. He reaches Sailagram on the 4th month. He atones. Rains are poured upon him. Rains are poured upon the Atma. And that's when Yamraj asks you, why? Did you ever give an umbrella to somebody? You ever given shelter to somebody? Shelter can be I don't say that you have to buy an umbrella for people, but there are so many things being operated today that provides a shelter for people. This temple is a shelter for people. There's shelter that physically, shelters people. Have you ever done something like that? No? Well, certain things happened. Anyways, what happened again? Na jnana margo, na chayona margo. 5 minutes more. Na jnana margo, na chayorga margo. Na kama margo, na cha bhakti margo. Na jnana margo, na chayorga margo. Na karma margo, na cha bhakti margo. Na sadhu sangati kimapi shutvam maya shariram. He nistira yatvaya kritam. You go to the next city now, the attendants of Yam ask him, Na jnana margo, na cha yoga margo. Have you followed Gyan Marg? Gyan Marg means the path of knowledge. Have you followed Gyan Marg? Gyan, you can go to God by Gyan Marg, Bhakti Marg, Karma Marg, all these kind of things, Yoga Marg. Do you, as Hindus here, let me ask all of you, don't answer me, please don't answer me. Can you say a single verse of the Gita? One single verse. You don't have to be Pandit, no Pandit, no. Can we say a single verse of the Gita? What is the first verse of the Gita? I know who can say it and who can't say it. Dharma Chetre, Kurukshetre, Samveta, Yudhisava, Mahamka Pan. I'm not telling you you're bad Hindu. I'm just asking you, this Gita, we had International Gita Conference the other day, right? Can we quote a single verse of the Gita? Let's put aside the Sanskrit for now. Do we know what the chapters of the Gita stand for? How many shlokas Krishna Bhagavan spoke in chapter 1? Did he speak in chapter 1? What is the chapter that talks about karma? Right? 6? 3, chapter 3. Buddhi Yoga, chapter 6. Jnana Yoga, chapter 5. Bhakti Yoga, chapter 12. At least know generally what it is about, and know generally what it talks about. Because the other religions, they're doing well. The Christian people will quote you, Paul said this, and who said that, and John the Baptist did this, and all the kind of thing. They know this stuff. At least we must know generally. But I want to challenge you, learn one verse of the Gita for each chapter. We used to have a Gita class here. Pre-COVID, we did many months, actually over a year of Gita studies. But then COVID stepped in and we stopped. We're going to resume that after our dinner this year. A Gita class, and I teach the Gita class. You should know at least to chant one verse of the Gita in Sanskrit per chapter. So 18 verses you should know. Many of the children here, they can recite chapters after chapters. No? The question is asked, Na jnana margo, na cha yoga margo. What is yoga? Have you followed the path of yoga? Yoga is not only a physical exercise. Yoga means union. Atha yoga anushasanam. What is that verse? Ask any yoga teacher, what is the first verse of Patanjali Yoga Sutra? The first verse of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Maharishi Patanjali is the one who brought yoga to us. The first Yoga Sutra, or the string, Atha yoga anushasanam. Now let us begin yoga. What is the second sutra? Yogas chitta vritti nirodha. Kya hai yoga? Yogas chitti vritti nirodha. It tells you what is the purpose of yoga. Yoga brings consciousness. Yoga brings union. Yoga brings awareness. Have you followed the path of yoga? Right? A lot of our people are into a lot of things, but not in yoga. please. Na karma margo, na cha bhakti margo. Have you followed karma marga? Have you done good on this earth? Have you done good to people on this earth? Na cha bhakti marga. Or have you followed the path of bhakti on this earth? These are the questions that are asked to the Atma. Na cha bhakti marga. Have you followed the path of bhakti? Have you had some devotion? Bhakti marga. Right? You know, talk what you want. But you know the folks from ISKCON, you know those people, the Hare Krishna people we call in West Indies. They are pure bhakti marga. No one in this world exists but Krishna. They will dance anywhere, they will sing anywhere, they will play their dholak anywhere, and they do it how they know to do it. Right? Bhakti marga. They follow that path of bhakti marga. Na sadhu sangatitva. Have you served the sadhus? No? Have you done good to people? That's a bhakti marga. Have you served the saints? Santoki seva. Have you served the saints? Have you listened to the kathas? And then if that doesn't happen, what will happen? There will be the actual rewards for not doing so. That's only the 4th month. Well, you know, it's 9 something already. 9:15 we finish. In the 5th month he goes to Kraurapura. And what happens in Kraurapura? Tata Kraurapuram masi panchamo yati kashyapa bhuvidatam pindajalam bhaktva Kraurapuram bhajet. If rice balls, pindas are offered, he eats there and so. He laments if nothing is happening. And what is he asked there? He's asked some question. If he's attached now to his people. When we talk about attachment in Hinduism, here is the question. In Kraurapur in the 5th month, the attendants of Yama says, Kwa mata, kwa pita, kwa means kya. Kwa means where. Kwa mata, kwa pita, mridajaya, kwa suta, sudata. Where is your mother? Where is your father? O fool, where is your wife? Where is your husband? Where are your sons? Where are your daughters? Where are your friends? Now, you are attached to all of them but the Lord. You're attached to all of them but the Lord. Have you ever heard a parent says, my children are my life. My children are my world. Which parent would say that to their children? All of us love our children. All of us can die for our children. I think we must live for our children and die for them, but that's a whole different thing. All of us, our children are our world, fine. But they're not the only thing that exists in this world. It's a big place. They're asked the question, you're so attached to your mother, your father, your wife, your son, your daughter. Where are they today? You're here to answer to your karmas. The attendants of Yam asked, where are they today? They were giving us tools not to distract you from the Lord, but to bring you to the Lord. Where are they today? Where are they today? This teaches us, this 5th month here teaches us about attachment. We must learn to live with everybody, and we must learn as well to live without them. Because the reality is all of us, the very person we're sitting next to right now, one day will come when you will have to live without them. One day will come where you have to live without them, and we don't think about it and we don't talk about it. Because we think when all of we go funeral and we look into the casket and we see the dead person, we think death is only for them. We think death is only for them. We think that we're not going to die. Or we think, time up. Have you ever never seen young people die? Right? What about you? And we all live today and tomorrow thinking that when we get old, we go dead. Right? We have to learn to live with each other and without each other. Because a time will come, the reality of this life is that we'll have to live, one of us will have to live without each other. So grasp it. It will happen one day. And when it happens, you will not be the only one. Our Mataji here, Auntie Baby, she lost her husband this year. They have lived their entire life together. You ask the older people how they got married. Today all sorts of things are spoken about our dharma. The young people today don't believe in arranged marriage because they say that's an old-fashioned Hindu thing. You ask any of the older folks how they got married.
You're arranged. You know something? Every marriage is an arranged marriage. Every marriage is an arranged marriage. Some people go to the bar and they meet their life partner. It was arranged by the bar. Some people go to a party and they meet their life partner and they get married and live 30 years after. Look, we not get arranged married, but we are living 30 years after. It was arranged, the party arranged it for you. The friends introduced, it was arranged by, the world is arranging something. So regardless of how you got married or how you met each other, it was arranged by something. Whatever it is, it was arranged. So do not batak the Hindu ancient way of bringing people together innocently. It was so beautiful because when they were arranged, they got married, they then start to look forward to knowing each other. Today when they're married, they know everything about each other. And when they're done married and complain marriage is boring because they expect to know something different. They live with each other, they buy a house, they vacation, and when they're married, they want something else. I'm not criticizing that lifestyle. I'm saying that it's not fair to the sacred institution called marriage, right? It's not something that you can give a try, right? How many weddings I do? I don't know, 300 something. Where I counted it. Unfortunately, I did more funerals than wedding, but what are you gonna do? It's life. You bring people together. You gotta send them back too. The first thing I ask the young people is why you want to get married. Why you want to get married? Unfortunately, one, two of them will say, "Oh, Paddy, we'll give it a try now." Are you serious? You're gonna give it a try? What happened halfway? I wake up tomorrow and see the person get boo-boo in the eye, then I get a makeup anymore. What happened? What happened one day when they got away false teeth instead of real teeth? What happened? You run away from them? What happened when you love them because of the hair and the hair fall out? That's why love has to be something that is beyond the physical. Love has to be something way beyond the physical. It has nothing to do, a little bit to do how you look, but more to do with your soul. And that is why they call it your soul mate. Your soul mate. When two Atma meet together, they go together to reach Paramatma. Paramatma. Right? Where is all these people that you're attached to in life? Right? In our scripture it tells us Parvati, Sita, Rukmini, all of them when they were getting married, they did prayers. Because we must pray that we must meet somebody good who is not going to suppress us and break our life, who's going to help us embrace our Bhagavan. The question is asked, where's all these people you're dying for in life? Are they going to come help you now? And Mata, Bhrata, Pita, Putra, Kopi me vatati varaha. Do my brother, my son, parents, or anyone exist who may take out a sinner like me falling into the ocean of distress? No? Is anybody can do that? The soul is wondering. Unfortunately, it's too late for that. We're going to pause here tonight because as much as I love to read The Journey to Yam, it's very juicy, it's very beautiful. It gets us thinking because, you know, it's an awakening. What have we done? What have we not done? It gets a little late. So we're going to pause here today and continue tomorrow. And tomorrow tomorrow's a beautiful day. We're not going to have the regular service Sunday morning. 7 to 9 will be Pindadan, Tarpanam. And after that, we'll cleanse a little bit, put your food and so on, feed the animals and thing. And then we'll start some chanting tomorrow morning. We do Gita Dhyanam for the purification of the Atmas, to bless the ancestors and the departed ones. We'll do some Gita Dhyanam, we'll do some Shanti mantras from 9:30 to about 10:30. Then we do a little Katha, and then everybody gets to have Bholinath Bhagwan Darshan. And then you go downstairs and you have Bhojan after Aarti. Tomorrow as well, please, do some charity. Give some charity to the temple. Give charity to the Brahmanas. Give charity to a shelter. Feed someone. Take some food somewhere. Buy food for someone. Make them happy. And it's a very beautiful day, but it's a day of prayers as well. And we are doing the right thing at the temple by allowing, I think, close to 30 families to join in Shraddh. I'm looking forward for it, and I'm looking forward to spending time with you in prayers. God bless all of you, And thank you very much for coming out tonight. Many, many thanks to our shrotas who are here and who made this evening possible. Is there anybody who have prasad and so to offer here tonight? Anybody have prasad? Okay. We have bhog, which will be offered, so I'll ask all of you to stand. Please, let's do the bhog, and then we will do arti afterwards.
आवो भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन, आवो भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन, लगाओ प्यारे मोहन, लगाओ प्यारे मोहन, लगाओ
प्यारे मोहन, लगाओ प्यारे मोहन।
आवो भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन, आवो भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन, आवो भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन। यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तर कृतानि च तानि सर्वाणि नश्यन्तु प्रदक्षिणां पदे पदे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे,
स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट नाश, जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। जो ध्यावे फल पावे, दुख बिन सेवन का, स्वामी दुख बिन सेवन का। सुख संपत्ति हर आवे, सुख संपत्ति हर आवे, कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। मात पिता तुम मेरे, शरण गहोवे किसकी, स्वामी शरण गहोवे किसकी। तुम बिन और न दूजा, प्रभु बिन और न दूजा। आस करूं मैं किसकी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
ॐ जय जगदीश हरे त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव अनादिनिधनो देव शङ्खचक्र गदाधर अक्षय पुण्ड्रीकाक्षो प्रेतमोक्षप्रदुर्भवम् सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनां सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः असतो मा सत्कमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ओम शांति शांति शांति
हरि ओम
बोले गणपति भगवान की
जय
पवन सुत हनुमान
की जय
सियावर रामचंद्र की राधा कृष्ण भगवान की
जय
सत्य सनातन धर्म की नमः पार्वती पतये हर 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 महादेव शंभो जय सीताराम everyone. Please on behalf of the Shrotas tonight, please go downstairs afterwards, after your arti and prasad. Please take bhojan downstairs. And those of you who are coming in the morning, see you bright and early.